welcome to the 49ers First and 10 podcast. 10 minutes of the most up-to-date 49ers news first thing in the morning. I'm your host, Brianna McDonald, and I'm joined by 49ers team reporter, Lindsay Polares. The San Francisco 49ers defeated the Denver Broncos 21-20 on Saturday to earn their first win of the preseason. It was a pretty up and down game. I'm sure emotions were all over the place for the faithful. Lindsay, what were some of your initial reactions from Saturday's game?
Right off the bat, I'd like to say it was probably one of the more exciting preseason games that I've gotten to watch because, as you know, we are writing articles about the game as it happens. And I think I had to change the direction of where I was going about 4 or 5 different times in that second half because exactly like you said, it was back and forth. And typically, preseason games, I would say, are not this exciting, but I was zeroed in the entire time, as I always am. But I felt like there was a lot more on the line than there actually was. These are exhibition games and just for a ramp up to the regular season, but it had some of that regular season feel to it, which I definitely like.
Absolutely. It was very exciting and so fun for a preseason game. But this was the first time we saw the team's starters take some snaps in a game. What did you think of the offense's first drive and how Brock Purdy looked in his first game back from injury?
Yeah, I think it was a great first run for the first team offense. And as you mentioned, it was a very short as you mentioned, it was a really small sample size, but I think it's encouraging to see what actually went down. It was a scoring drive for the first team offense. We saw Deebo Samuel targeted 3 straight times. I think his best catch was that 25-yard catch and run on the first play of the game to get things going. You don't want to see your quarterback get sacked, but I do think, given the circumstances and the season ending injury to Brock Purdy, it was kind of like he got to get that first hit out of the way. Then we saw him have an off schedule play. It had a little bit of everything in a 10-play drive, and it put the 49ers up 3-0 early. So I think it had a little bit of everything, and that's what you wanted to see. Good news is as well that first team offense sounds like they will get some snaps in the third preseason game. So the ramping up process is in full effect.
Nice. So, starters from the 49ers defense were also in for some time at the beginning of the contest. We even got to see Fred Warner give his always passionate pregame speech. What energy did they bring to Levi's Stadium?
Yeah, I think the defense is known for the gold standard, right? That's the reigning #1 overall defense from the 2022 season. And you were excited to see the big names, exactly like Fred Warner. He's the heartbeat of that defense. I think multiple people have said it over the course of, last season and the season before that. We saw the physicality. We saw them actually, have those live action reps. I think we saw a lot of cornerback rotations as well from all the projected starters. So a lot to look at with that 49ers defense.
Besides seeing the starters for the first time in a game setting, we also got to see a lot of good things from the team's other quarterbacks. Sam Darnold took a majority of the reps on Saturday. He connected with rookie fullback Jack Coletto for a touchdown. What did you think of his performance?
I think Sam Darnold had a really solid showing. Like you mentioned, he took a bulk of the reps from that first offensive series when he replaced Brock Purdy right after that, and he played well into that third quarter. He connected on 11 of 14 passes for 109 yards and closed out the night with a 93.2 passer rating. He had some really good throws in tight windows, and he was facing a decent amount of pressure. So I think that's exactly what you want to see from really all of the 49ers quarterbacks.
So Trey Lance came in right at the end of the third quarter, but really shined in the final minutes of the game, leading a hurry-up offense. How did he perform under that pressure?
Yeah, I think he really shined, honestly. He had 3 scoring drives to end the game, and most notably, that very final drive that helped set up Jake Moody for that game-winning field goal. He just looked really decisive, more confident, and settled in. I was in his post-game scrum in the locker room, and he mentioned that the big difference from that first preseason game to this preseason game was the fact that the 49ers did not go 3 and out on the first drive that he was under center. And that really does make the difference. So I think he was able to just settle into the game a lot quicker. And it showed on the field. There was a lot of really good production from Trey Lance.
And this game was a really big game for the rookies on the team. Rookies scored the touchdowns. Rookie kicker Jake Moody made the final game-winning kick. And rookie receiver Ronnie Bell made a bunch of huge plays in this game. What are you thinking of this rookie class and how they're performing during the preseason?
I think this has been a great show by that rookie class. Like you mentioned, I was getting ready to do the post-game interview with fullback Jack Coletto and just going over stats, and the rookies were responsible for every single one of those 21 points going up. Obviously, it's a team sport. Everybody had a hand in setting them up, but the people actually scoring the points were first-year players. I think it was just a lot of valuable game reps, and for all of them, it was their very first game day experience at Levi Stadium. I spoke to Jack Coletto. He said the energy and the support from the fans unmatched. I would echo that same sentiment, but yeah, I mean, a lot of good things. I think it was a really good game for Ronnie Bell, 7 receptions for 114 yards. And most importantly, he is getting more opportunities as the return specialist for the 49ers, and he's looking very comfortable. And it's looking like he might be a front runner for that job.
I love it. All right. So, other than watching the competition at quarterback, there's also some competition at cornerback. What kind of rotations did you see there in the secondary against the Broncos?
Yeah, so it's pretty clear that Charvarius Ward is that proven CB1 on the outside. It looks like the 49ers are really testing the configurations for that other outside corner spot and then also the nickelback position. And that's actually a spot that really got zeroed in on during practice, as well as that for at that second preseason game. Diamador Lenore got a lot of reps at the nickelback position over the course of the week, and then took, I believe head coach Kyle Shanahan said, about 5 snaps at that spot also during the game. They were kind of just seeing how he would perform. Diamador Lenore is a guy that really started to just level up in the postseason last year at the outside corner position, but he does have that versatility. Head coach Kyle Shanahan said that he looked good. And again, it is an ongoing evaluation process of trying to find their best 3 corners and where they fit in on that 49ers defense.
All right, finally, can you update us on the latest from any injuries that happened in Saturday's game and what the injury report looks like overall for the team?
Yeah, so unfortunately, there are a few new injuries. None of them are huge surprises because we did see 3 players ruled out of the game on Saturday night, but we have some updates on their statuses. Wide receiver Danny Gray is dealing with a shoulder injury. While he was able to avoid a collarbone fracture, it sounds like he is the most significant of the 3 injuries, and head coach Kyle Shanahan said he does not anticipate that Gray will be ready for the start of the regular season. So that also could have some bearing on what the 53-man roster looks like. So stay tuned there. Then defensive lineman Kerry Hyder Jr. had a stinger. They're going to monitor his condition throughout the week and see how that plays into his availability for Friday's game. And then running back Jeremy McNichols suffered a hamstring injury, and he is expected to be out for a few weeks. So that's the not so good news. But on a lighter note, there are 6 players that the 49ers are hoping to get back to practice at least at some point this week. And those guys are tight end George Kittle, defensive lineman Kalia Davis, defensive lineman Javon Kinlaw, running back Elijah Mitchell, defensive lineman Drake Jackson, and linebacker Dre Greenlaw. A lot of names coming back into the fold. We love to hear that.
All right, thank you so much, Lindsay, but that will do it for today. Be sure to look out for all of the 49ers preseason content on 49ers.com. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to turn on the notifications so you're in the know when we post any breaking news updates. And thank you, Faithful, for tuning in.